Okay, so let's understand the geometry rituals in magic. Things like the lesser pentagram, pentacle, or whatever, or the hexagram, the septagram, etc. These are, of course, geometry, interesting little word, geo, assumingly meaning earth, and metry meaning like the science, the art of something. And then, so again, with ritual magic, you use these symbols, right? And what they do represent is they represent the elements and archetypes. You are essentially breaking up reality into X amount of directions, sections, areas, and you are utilizing them. It's a bit like breaking life up into different colors, different elemental forces, and you're utilizing them, you're invoking them or banishing them, basically calling it in or removing it, giving energy to it or taking energy away. Because that's what, when you banish, you are shutting something. You're like shutting a door. You're starving it, which is why the banishing ritual, the pentagram done in the earth sign, is actually a very bad thing to do, especially if you do it every day, because you are shutting earth out. You are, removing the earth. So I guess magic is kind of taught in spirituality in general is just taught in a bit of a nasty way. That's, it shuts away the earth, the feminine, the negative. And I guess that's because people are trying to find spiritual energy and power instead of physical energy and power, but long term it's not good for you. Anyway, whatever, you'll understand once I explain this stuff. Going on, okay, so here is a basic Jewish mysticism diagram, and we're not going to use this, I'm just showing you as an example of the lesser pentagram ritual. Essentially, you will draw these pentagrams here, upward pentagrams, and again, anything upward is sending energy upward, anything downward is sending energy downward, or working with the downward forces. The tip, the direction will direct it where. You could direct it left, right, front, back, whatever. And of course, this represents, the earth and the earth and the sky. You can think of the two elements, the up and the down, and that stuff. But anyway, you've got these four directions you can see, and my elemental correspondences is, so for me, north, we'll just say north is here. I represent that with earth, wrong symbol. Because if you face the north, it draws, it pulls, right? Usually you want to, if you sleep, you want to face your feet to the north, because it will help you to, draw the energy down there. While the south, this one has water. I think it is the fire element, the south is. Because it is stimulating, it's like the awakening, The east is the air, so east, air, oops, yep, looks like that. And then the west is the water, right? So again, north earth, east air, south fire, west water. That's personally how I do it. It's up to you if you want to, see it that way. Anyway, here we have two diagrams. And so in the pentagram ritual, spirit is up top, air is off to this side, water is off to this side, earth is off to this side, fire is down there. I don't agree with this personally. Again, is this stuff taught improperly because it is it's to like trick you, or is it maybe I'm just not understanding things, or do I have my own little opinions? Again, I would see down here, I would see water, and water, earth, that's fine, and then air and fire, which ones would be which? I would have, okay, so if that's the left, this is the left side and this is the right side, I would probably have fire here and air here. Maybe. probably, because again, the heart is more related to there. And then of course, this is fine to have as spirit. So whatever you want to use is up to you. Ultimately, you're going to figure, like this, when we do the actual, like the ritual stuff, it's going to have an effect and it's going to do something, and we're going to figure it out regardless. So what it really is or what it's shown on paper doesn't really matter, because we're going to figure it out, if you get what I mean. What this is really, here is the how you invoke or how you banish. So basically, if you were invoking fire, you start from the top and you go down there, up there, there, and then back to fire. And you'll notice it kind of invokes the head, which is interesting. Very interesting. Or it illuminates the head if you can know how to do the ritual, which again we'll go into in a minute. So whatever, here's some basic anatomy, which I have politely, mildly censored, because we need to talk about, that area of the body, right? Once we start talking about the downward pentagram. Anyway, so here is the anatomy. Maybe I should give him a close, that would have been better. Whatever, we're all mature enough, right? And here is a, do you see the similarity? You see? Look at that. Look at that. What is this? What is this showing you? It's showing you that the head, again, as I said, in my idea, the head, I mean, you could have it as fire as well. What is this? The ether, right? And then it's the earth element, the left. Technically, this is the right leg, so it's actually the opposite. Well, actually, would it be debatably what one would be earth and what one would be water? I would say, again, the left leg. So actually, it would look like this for a front view. At least my system would. And then, fire, and then water, right? Or excuse me, air. Technically, it would look like something like that. Anatomically correct, because again, the bowel is more over to that side and the heart is more over to that side. So that's kind of how I reason things, and of course the liver is more over to that side. Essentially, when you're doing these rituals, at least internally, the geometry is relating to your body. That's the whole point of the video. Now, if you understand how to utilize this, which we're going to do some exercises and I'm going to show you a bunch of other stuff, then you can realize how this all works and how you can feel the elements and do all this stuff. Now, it's not only in your body. You can do this stuff outside in space, and the etheric space in your room will start to take on the elements that you are invoking or banishing or, calling again. You don't have to do some fancy ass little, geometry ritual. You can literally just will the elements into existence or will them out of existence in a, mental, magical sense. And of course, that will have a practical effect on reality if you do it enough. You'll feel it, other people will feel it. It'll start to affect you, affect other people, affect the world, etc. So it does have a tangible, this isn't just fantasy. This isn't just we're not wasting our time here with nonsense. Of course, this is less important than you should pay your bills first, and you should cook your food and do your laundry and all that stuff first. But after that, you're allowed to learn magic. It's fine. Let's do a little exercise. Firstly, we're going to invoke Earth again. As I said, your head is here. Your arm is there, your arm is there, your leg is there, okay? And we'll try both left and right, okay? So firstly, we'll try, okay, now focus on your head. Then draw the focus from your head to your right leg, okay? Draw it to your left arm, right arm, left leg, back to your head. What do you feel? Kind of feels like a sense of peace. Let's try that again. Okay, from the head, go to the right leg, to the left arm, to the right arm, to the left leg, back to the head. And then you stop there. That is in internal. Internally, you have invoked this pentagram. Now let's try it the opposite way, which would technically be invoking fire. So obviously we're going to notice a difference if one is fire and one is earth, because you're trying to feel what are you really doing? What are you really doing? What are you really invoking, right? Is this even true? Is this even correct? Because see, I see invoking earth as you start here and you go like there. I don't see this as, you know, the right one, but again, I've had disagreements with all of this. I guess at the end of the day, again, we have to figure out what is really true, because there's a lot of different versions of this. Whatever, let's go from the head now to the left kind of leg, foot, right arm, left arm, right leg, back to the head. Again, I still feel like a sense of peace. That one, okay, that one feels a lot more relaxing. It feels a lot more relaxing. But honestly, I think, here we go, spirit passive. That to me seems a lot more like an invoking earth. So again, let's go from the left leg, right arm, left arm, right leg, head, left leg. Again, I feel a sense of peace. Are we invoking the passive spirit or the active spirit? I'll go to the right leg. So we'll do that the opposite way now. So right leg, left arm, right arm, left leg, head, back to right leg. That one does seem more active, if you want to call it that way. It does seem more, you know, because that's what I would think of as invoking fire. I don't know. Again, we'll try some more. Quickly, we'll do the banishing earth, and I'll tell you, as I said, that's why that one, I don't like that one. I'll start left leg to the head, the right leg to the left arm, to the right arm, back to the left leg. And you might feel it's like cutting the circulation to the left leg. And we can do, and then you just have to reopen it. You can either do, again, the opening earth or this one here, right? To reopen it if you want, or you can just will it to like reopen, right? So you want to play around with this. You want to play around with using your body and going from, you know, one space, one limb to the other. And you can also play around with doing it in, you know, if you look up the actual lesser banishing or the lesser pentagram rituals, and you do it in space, and you feel what does space, what does it feel like when you do that in space? What kind of effect does it have on the room around you? Because those are the two things. You're affecting yourself and the room around you. Why is this scary, evil, bad symbol in like religion and, you know, all kinds of stuff? Now, what does it relate to? Arm, genitals, leg, or you could say side of the body, or hip, but you know, whatever. We could just kind of extend the hip to the legs as well. Do you see what I mean by that? The head is missing with this one, meaning if we use this downward pentagram, we are using the genitals as one of the elements. And of course the genitals here, depending on what you want it to represent, it could represent either spirit, the negative aspect of spirit, right? It could also represent the water or the earth. realistically though, would have water and earth around here. So I would probably put, it's difficult to say which one would be, would this be the earth or would this be the water? Would this be the water or would this be the earth? You know, it's difficult to pick one. I'd say, we'll just say here is, you know, the earth, the left, because again the bowel's kind of closest to it. Here is the water, and then for these two, I'd say, you know, get heart over this side, air, okay? Again, you're going to have to figure this out what it really is for yourself. I'm just going to work with this for now. Right? Now, if we were to do some exercises on this, ouch. So, let's just play around with it. Start at the genital region. Of course, it's not just the genital region, it is the womb, the bladder, you know, like the whole, the bowel to an extent. Well, actually, when you're focusing on the earth side, you'll you know, invoke that. So it's got a lot more, you know, it's got like the whole generative area to it. So focus on the generative area, right? Then we'll go to focus on the right arm. Now focus on the left leg, yep, and the right leg, and the left arm, and back to the generative region. And to me that was kind of like stimulating. So we went like this, we went from there, there, like that, like down here, right? So like this, like that, this. Do you kind of get what I mean? And then down here, that seems to be like positive. Let's try the opposite, which is this way, which is like down here, there, and there, right? Is that going to be negative? So there, there, here and here. Alright, so the genital region, left arm, right leg, left leg, right arm, genital region. And that feels a bit more... actually, that also feels kind of positive. I feel like my head's it's confusing. That's why you're gonna, like, if you want to really figure this shit out, that's how you do it. You just sit here and you just play around with these. We'll try another one. We'll go from the earth. So we'll go from left leg to right leg to left arm to genital region to the right arm to left leg. And that feels like I'm banishing the earth. I'm like sealing the circulation of the left leg. So I'm going to reopen that. Just reopen that leg. Unless I want to sit down and write a whole book on magic, which maybe one day I'll do once I have the time. I'm not going to sit here and do all these. You can do them yourself, but again, that's how this stuff. That's how you figure this energy out. You want to feel. What does this make you? How does this make you feel? And of course, where does it relate to certain organs in the body? Okay, so now that you hopefully have an idea on the pentagram, we'll go to the next one, which is a hexagram. Now, of course, I think you can draw a six-sided shape that you continuously have like a... So you start from one area and you just go... Would you go from here, like to there? Would you go from there to there? And I don't know, no, that's screwed up. Whatever, I don't know, there's probably a shape that you can do that thing with, but we use for 6, the same way for 8, we use, well, at least I use one of these fellas here, right? So for 6, we use 2 triangles. It's just kind of, you know, it's easier, it's nicer. This is a nice shape because, go back to a little human here. Oops, I forgot his nuts. We have this configuration, which of course is the brain or the head, right? The genitals, the leg, arm. Here is more of an alchemical diagram. So whether it's correct for our purposes, probably not. because it's got these words in Latin, which I will translate when I can be bothered, describing, I imagine, properties like vegetabulia, animalis. So I guess it's saying these ones are more animalistic, maybe. These ones are more vegetabilistic, and mineral. Is that to say mineralish? I'm not sure. These ones are more mineralish. I'm not sure. And then of course Mercury is in the middle because it is, you know, the master, the mother of all of them. This one's a little more, excuse the terrible watermark. It's really hard to find these diagrams nowadays, actually. In the past, you used to be able to find them really easily, but now it's difficult. So we have to work with what we got. This one I like because it has the sun in the middle. Now, I would either put Mercury or the sun in the middle. And it's also interesting because it has Saturn up the top. You can have different like positive and negative diagrams where you have Saturn up the top or Saturn down the bottom. The moon being down the bottom, it does kind of work. Of course, Saturn as well. You know, I'd kind of put that down the bottom as well. Of course, what is this representing? Here, I should put a circle to represent the middle. So technically, this is actually 7 elements, but you know, we can represent 6 if we want, but we can also represent 7. Putting the sun here represents the digestive system, right? Pretty simple. Putting the moon here would represent, you know, the genitals, the bladder, etc. Well, technically also, see, Venus, if we put Venus there, that would kind of represent the, you know, the bladder and genitals as well to an extent. And Mercury actually would see, these are all, Venus technically is more like the genitals, the moon is more like the reproductive, like the gonads, and Mercury is more like the bladder, but also the small intestines, kidneys to an extent. And then here we have, Mars. I just use the antimony symbol. I don't really like that one. And then Jupiter. Now this one would it be left or right? Because it's you could represent Jupiter as a stomach, but sometimes they represent as a liver. Sometimes you represent the Mars as the liver. Sometimes you represent it as the digestive system. And then up the top we have Saturn, which is, sometimes Saturn can be represented as the mind, or it could be represented as the root. In fact, actually, we could have, so for other things here, we could have Mercury as the mind, we could also have the moon, and we could also have the sun. For here, we could also have Saturn, Venus, not really, I don't know. And for here, we could also have Mercury, right? For these left and right, these kind of work out fine. I mean, you could maybe have Mercury for one of these as well, depending, or you could even have Venus and Mars. Debatable, right? Also, the reason I have this one here is that if we had the genitals, for example, as Venus, and then we had, or the buttocks as something like the moon, and then you maybe could have Saturn as down there, and then we would have the kind of the chest or the belly or the digestive is more Mars. I don't know if Jupiter would be there. Again, debatably, you could have Mercury as well. So, you know, the reason I put a person on their side is that you can have different, you can cast a circle and divide the circle into different elements relating to the person on the side, right? So anyway, I actually haven't really looked at the Hexagram rituals, I'm sorry to say. Let's just take a quick look at those. Okay, it's a terrible resolution, excuse me again. It's really hard to find pictures about this unless you want to go crack open really old books. I don't understand what's going on here. If maybe you're meant to, you go 1, 2, then I would imagine, what do you do? So it's 3 maybe? 4, 4, 5, 6, and then you do something in the middle. I don't really understand it. Whatever, we can make our own ritual. So these ones, again, I don't like the whole moving the the geometry and swiping it. It's just kind of a pain in the ass, and you do too much for too little. Imagine there's like two triangles, right? Two triangles, and the legs and the head is the bottom triangle that goes upwards. So the legs are kind of funneling into the head, and the arms are funneling into the genitals for this bottom triangle like we see here, right? Focus on one of these major archetypal centers in the body. So I want you to focus on your left arm. You just keep focusing on the whole, like the left chest, the left arm, the left hand, this whole area here, and then release. Focus on the right leg, and just hold in the right hip, right? That whole kind of region. As if we split the body up into technically 7, because the diaphragm in the middle is heart. You just focus on that area. You are invoking that area. You see how this is simpler than just doing weird swipey pentagram, hexagram rituals, which, knock yourself out if you like that shit, but I can't be bothered. This is magic on a time and energy budget. That's what you can do, and then release. And if you want to banish, you will kind of constrict and lock up that limb or that region. And again, using it outside the body is you will mentally see the hexagram, and you'll focus on certain areas, certain corners or angles of the hexagram, right? And if you want to focus on the sun, the solar, you just focus on your belly, right? Your intestinal digestive system, and you're stimulating that. And that is, for this ritual, you're stimulating that. Then you can focus on the head, for example, and you can go through all these. You can make it a ritual. If you want to do this as like a daily practice or something, you can start at like the bottom, and then go around clockwise, or start in the middle and then go around clockwise or counterclockwise. And they'll have different effects whether you do it clockwise or counterclockwise. So now you can also do that with, again, the downward or the upward, and you can combine them both and to make a super symbol. It's like, what is it? Bearheart's old merger symbol, which was like, how do we do that again? I think it was just I'm pretty sure it would just look like that. Yeah, so that's like the upward and the downward. Something like that. Right. I don't know if Bearheart has a channel anymore. I think he changed his name, and I don't even know if he's, doing this stuff. But there are some channels that do have his stuff up. Here's one, for example. If you want some extended watching to do, to really have some more, interesting systems that simplifies things. These are good. The Planetary High Magic Lesson 1 Master Symbol, number 1, 2, the mergers, and you can just check out whatever else. Of course, you will have to. It is very 2000s era videos, so you'll just have to. You'll get what I mean. Yeah, if anyone's watched this stuff before, you've really been there before, haven't you? If you get all this, you will get what the Septagram. See how perfectly I can do that. Just nearly got it there. See, that's experience. I've drawn a few of those in my days. See, not just all alchemy. I'm talking about whatever tragic things in the world that I see, or whatever. That's the upward one. What does that look like? Leg, head, arm, side of the body. The body is the representation. It's your tool, and you can manipulate the tool through. This is like programs. Magic is just program. It's like programs, right? And there's a bunch of different ways that you can do it once you understand it. As I said, you don't have to draw the Septagram. You don't have to go, yeah, I've invoked whatever the fuck that is, or yes, I've done that one. No, you just be like, ooh, and you just focus on the head, while understanding that you're breaking the body up into all of these parts. And you can do it this way, right? You can do it like, imagine this is your belly, right? Your organs and your spine. So it's like you're looking this way internally, and you're breaking the body up into, the 4 or 6 or 8 or whatever, and like the front, the back, the left, the front, the back, the sides, all the in-betweens, however you want to do it. And then of course we have the downward Septagram. Now, what is this? Genitals, leg. Okay, so genitals, leg, side of body, arm, which you can find. This one is pretty much the same as that one, except now we've added the sides to the bodies. And again, if you want to, you could also see for this one, these as the sides. You can forget the legs entirely if you want. It's up to you, really. And basically just channel all the body's energy into the genitals the same way. This one is kind of, the intention is channeling the body's energy into the head. It's up to you how you want to break them up. These are tools for you to control, understand, invoke, banish, whatever. Like, invoke really just means gather, collect, make a zone for, bring into. Banish really just means restrict. It's like open the floodgates or close the floodgate. What do you want to do? You probably understand, as I said, I gave you 2 ways to do it. The easy way, which is just focusing on the corner. You can mentally project circles like here and have symbols or colors or whatever you want to imagine. When you're looking at those little, you're invoking the Uriel, Gabriel, that crap, that's just like the elements, the different corners of the room. These are the elements, right? Or you can do we don't have our picture, the banishing, invoking, where you do one of those things, right? You can do that if you want as well. I don't really like that. It's kind of annoying. Anyway, that looks like it's about enough for this video. You're going to have to figure out on your own perfectly where all of these exist, as in the archetypal elements. For this one, you can have the 7 planets, and maybe if you want, you can have you can put the Sun or Mercury in the middle, and you can also have Earth. So it's 8, the 8 planets if you want to do that. Technically Saturn kind of represents Earth, but whatever. It's up to you to figure this out, what it relates to. I have my own views on, as I showed you earlier, which corners relate to which parts of the body relate to which and such. It's good for you to feel this stuff yourself, so you can actually understand it yourself. Anyway, have a good day, and of course check the links in the description for social commercial stuff if you want. Otherwise, goodbye.